Street Champs, come get put on. Today I'm in here with a very special pair of guests, Fox Royale. How you guys doing today?
We're doing well, man. How are you?
Great, man. Living life, living good.
Good.
Let's get into some names. What are you guys' names?
My name is Nathan Hurley.
Nathan Hurley.
My name's Caleb Hurley.
Caleb Hurley. You guys are brothers, right?
We are.
Who's older?
I am the older one. Yep, and then Caleb's my youngest
I'm
sibling.
younger.
Mm.
Yeah.
Got two sisters as well, but they're not in the band.
Man, they
Yeah.
couldn't make it.
No, they got lives. So.
Damn. how old are you guys?
26.
26?
22.
22. I'm 26 as well.
Nice. What month?
May.
Okay, so I'm like a month older than you then.
Oh, really?
April 7th. Yep.
Damn, man. Old man.
I'm gonna run for mayor too, man. No.
You should. of
I'm old enough.
of
Apparently.
Missouri. Yeah. That'd be funny.
That's awesome.
All right. So for the people that don't know you guys, can you guys just give the people a quick, brief description of your band and what you guys do?
Yeah, we are a rock band from Joplin, Missouri. We're like a touring indie rock band. We're mostly about our live show. We really like playing a live show in front of an audience. We put music out on Spotify and we write all of our own music. But we just love touring. So we're playing, 100, 150 dates a year right now. This is year 3 of being in a band.
Wow.
And we're just out in Colorado this week. So what else about our band? What do we sound like?
We sound like a little bit of Vampire Weekend, a little bit of The Killers, maybe. A little bit of Cage the Elephant. Yeah. Weezer, big influence, are my heroes.
But with some of those old school harmonies, like Simon and Garfunkel,
or the
and
Beach
the Everly
Boys,
Brothers, yeah,
or the Beatles.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I would say we sound just like the Beatles. No.
Just like them.
I think Caleb nailed it. He was right.
That's cool. Very unique. All right. So before we get all into music stuff, I wanna go back. You guys aren't that old, but I wanna go back into your guys' childhood and stuff. What city in Missouri did you say again?
So I was born in Joplin, Missouri.
Joplin, Missouri. You
Yep.
said it was famous for a huge tornado.
Huge tornado in like 2011. A tornado wiped out like a mile of the town, basically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Was your house in it?
No, we moved there a year after that happened. I was born there,
Oh.
and then I spent 10 years outside Washington, D.C., in Annapolis, Maryland.
Oh.
And that's where I spent most of my childhood. And then high school and college, I was back in Joplin.
Were you guys together?
Yeah.
You guys together the whole time?
Yeah. Caleb was in like junior high.
I was 11 when we moved to Joplin.
Yeah.
We both
So
lived
he
at home.
spent like the first half of his life in Maryland. So yeah.
For sure.
And then the tornado happened like 6 months before we moved there. Came back, and my mom actually lives in the area that got hit. Like her house is pretty old, but right behind her it's all new houses because it all got wiped out by like this huge tornado. So
Oh.
yeah.
That's scary. Did a bunch of people? I'm sure that a bunch of people died.
Yeah,
actually,
lots.
our brother-in-law,
former brother-in-law.
Yeah, well, we don't need to unpack that.
No,
but
he is.
Our former brother-in-law.
My brother-in-law. No.
Our former brother-in-law was actually before we met him, he was in a coma for something like 9 months.
Cinder block hit him right in the face.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Maybe he deserved it if he's former brother-in-law.
Hey,
We're
that's
not
not
gonna
what
get
I'm
into
gonna
that.
say.
We're
But
not here to talk about that.
who knows?
But,
Time is not linear.
Hey,
So, it's possible that the world and God knew what was gonna
sometimes what
happen.
comes around goes around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's not talk about him. His name's Malachi.
Yeah. Just get into it. What do you want to know?
No, we won't get into that. All right. So what kind of kids were you guys? How were you guys in school growing up?
It's kind of weird, like our dad being with us today in the studio. We were probably the best
Shout out,
kids,
Dad.
man. Pretty well behaved. I had a conscience that would get me in trouble all the time because I would still do bad things, and then I would always tell on myself.
Really?
Like always, yeah. And yeah. One time my dad sent me to bed early, so I snuck out of my bedroom and grabbed his toothbrush and I dunked it in the toilet and then put it back. And then I went to bed and couldn't sleep, and I went down while he was watching television. Was like, "Hey, Dad, I just gotta tell you, I was mad at you earlier. I put your toothbrush in the toilet. Don't brush your teeth with it." So and then it was like I kind of got in trouble a little bit, but also. Nothing happened. It wasn't really a great revenge plan. So that kind of thing was like my whole childhood was like doing something wrong and then apologizing for it before I got caught.
Yeah.
That was like my whole. That sums up how I am as an adult too. Actually, I just put it in a song and then that's my confession. So.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you told him.
Oh yeah. I can't lie for long. So.
Yeah, I was a pretty good child. I never got busted for anything.
Really?
Got away with everything. Yeah.
What were you getting into?
Hard drugs. No.
Parties. I cheated in math and Latin for like 4 years straight, and I got really good grades.
And this is the first you're hearing of this, probably, right?
No, I did get busted when I was like 16 for cheating in math after like 4 years of doing it.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I didn't fake my way into a degree or anything, so I'm cool sharing this. But yeah,
They can't take away your GED.
yeah.
Oh, you guys didn't? Did you graduate? You didn't graduate high school on
I
time?
took a GED out of my sophomore year, which I did pass
Oh, wow.
without cheating. So, by the standards of
So
the
you
state of
should cheat.
Missouri,
You
by
should
the
cheat.
standards of the state of Missouri, I am smart enough to have a high school diploma.
So you left school when you were what, like 16 then?
Yes. Yeah.
Why exactly?
I was in a different band, and it wasn't really going anywhere, but I was convinced it was going to. So I doubled down, and then I joined this band. And
We
here
were
are.
we were both in that band.
Yeah.
I dropped out of college and
Oh wow.
convinced my parents and Caleb to let Caleb finish early and get out of school, and then he hit the road with me. And as soon as I dropped out, I booked like a month-long tour of just playing the worst shows you can imagine. But I was told that I had to play 200 shows a year to get a record deal. So I was like, okay. And I went out and played, 150 shows back in like 2018, 2017. And that band didn't really, I mean, you could say they didn't go anywhere, but we are half of that band.
We are half that
and
band.
Fox Royale now is having a good
And
run.
look at us
So,
now.
Yeah, you guys are on
Look
street
now.
champs.
We're on street champs. We're in Pueblo. We're playing Brews Ale House. So it actually is going really well,
is.
especially when you compare it to what guys.
In
are about to
comparison, we're
do.
killing it. Yeah.
I used to play outside of State Farm. That was the worst show that I can remember.
Like State Farm, like just the insurance.
Yeah. Like an insurance
And it
agency.
wasn't like they
Yeah.
were sponsoring the show. There was like a frozen yogurt place next door, and they were nice enough to book us and pay us. But then we set up at 2 p.m. on a strip mall sidewalk, and we would have to move out of the way whenever people needed to get into the State Farm. So
Wow.
We were basically busking.
yeah,
Like,
but like with a full sound system and drum kit, and it was a weird time, but it counted. And then enough doors got opened because of all the dumb things we were doing back then. Now we get to play actual shows in clubs that are cool. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's crazy. Convincing your little brother to graduate early. Do you regret doing that?
I don't regret convincing him.
You don't regret
No,
doing it
dude,
yourself?
I got to drop out before I got to those SATs. Then there was no hiding it then. So
Yeah, that's what this band's about.
Yeah.
Just getting by. No.
yeah.
Man. So all right. So what were you going to college for?
Biblical justice. So I was trying to figure out how to do social justice work with nonprofits in cities. I was really set on moving to New York back in the day, and I just wanted to do it with like a biblical perspective. Basically, I had a free ride to a Christian school, and I wanted to do biblical justice. That was my favorite professor. He's still there, Shane Wood. He was the guy that I wanted to study under. I just liked his whole worldview and his perspective on everything. I was like, this guy I think he's right, or more right than most people I've talked to. But then I think I was 20 credits from graduating, and I dropped out. And then during COVID, I went back and got even closer to graduating, and then we got offered another tour. So college for me is always like plan C. And I haven't even picked a plan B yet, but I'd just rather do something else than college. Mm-hmm. So my wife actually works at the school now, and she's the director of admissions. So you should go to Ozark. If you're listening to this, you should go to Ozark Christian College. But I didn't for long. I dropped out. But no, it was cool. I got a good education, and the guy opening for us tonight, Kendall, met him there as well.
Oh, wow.
And met people in Seattle the other day that were graduates of the college, and just far-reaching school. It's weird, like this small little school in Joplin.
Yeah, I mean, you seem pretty sharp. So like,
oh, thank you.
Maybe Missouri's GEDs or something,
Yeah.
Oh, we got the best GEDs.
Hey, if you take your GED at Missouri Southern State University,
You bring your iPhone.
you can get a 27 on the math part of it and still pass.
At 27 out of what?
100.
Oh my God.
He really did cheat on his math for 4 years.
What's like the ranking of like public education in Missouri? Like what's the
Pretty
smartest?
good.
What's the smartest state in the nation?
Pretty sure it's got to be us. It's like
Yeah,
us
yeah.
or Massachusetts, maybe. I don't know. Like,
Definitely Texas.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So at what age did you guys pick up music?
I was 12.
I was 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took drum lessons for 7 years.
Oh wow.
And then I took banjo lessons for a year. Then I took one introductory college course to learn how to play keys. And now I'm a bass player.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I started when I was 12. As I understand it, which I would just say this story confidently, but since you're here, I'm like, well, this is just what I remember, was they weren't sure what to get me for my 12th birthday. So my dad went out like the day before, the morning of my birthday, my 12th birthday, and got me a guitar from a music shop up the street, and also signed me up for like a month of lessons.
Nice.
And just took to it immediately and just played for hours and hours. I tried to play piano before that. Hated it. I hated drums too, which is a bummer. I wish I had learned drums now as a songwriter. I wish I could like write drum parts. But yeah, they got me a guitar, and I had never asked for one, never thought about playing guitar, had never really been interested in music. My sisters were the singers. I was all about like baseball back then. And then I started playing it like crazy, and I had a really cool teacher who didn't worry about music theory or notes. He just taught me songs that I liked, and I was hooked immediately. And then I think we probably started our first band, my sibling band, when I was like 14. So it was like 2 years after I started playing.
Oh wow,
So.
a sibling band. So it was all 4 of you guys.
That was a even earlier band. We played like the local farmers market like 6 times. That was pretty much the run of that band. But and then a lot of family reunions, and we were called Sadie's Dollar. So that was with our sister singing and Caleb on drums and me on acoustic guitar. So, and I'm surprised honestly. Like that was a tough like first experience in the band because we didn't get to name the band. So we were kind of along for the ride back then. So we were kind of like, we're the guys in charge of our band now.
Yeah.
But back then we were the guys who were told what to do. And then we didn't sing. We didn't really get to pick the songs. Our sisters did because they were the ones singing them.
All covers.
And it was very tense and very much a family band. And if you like, family bands historically are full of tension. So the fact that after that band was over, that we were like, we should start another band, is kind of surprising. But look at us now.
Yeah, you said so. There's more of band members.
Yeah. So just the 4 of us as siblings, and then on our new band, or Guys on a Bus was our second band. That was like high school and college. Guys on a Bus, yes sir. Oh, that's a big one. Jeez.
Shout out Rocky Mountain Blaze. Mention
Rocky
Street
Mountain
Gems.
Blaze,
Rocky
thank
Mountain
you.
Blaze.
Get 15% off. But how many members are in Fox Royale?
Well, Caleb and I own it, so it's mostly me and Caleb. We've had a lot of guys come and go that I love dearly. Evan Todd helped us start the band, and Davis Drake wrote a lot of our first songs together with those guys.
Man, you guys are fast. You guys pass it around fast. You guys puff on it for a second. But so 4? Was that 4? Oh, yeah, it's kind of opening.
Oh yeah, I see that here. You want to fix that
Yeah,
for me? I'm
I
really
gotcha.
bad at that.
I gotcha.
But yeah, so 4 band members originally, and then as they have left, marriage, kids, that kind of thing happens pretty early in life in the Midwest. Evan got married when he was like 23, and he's got 2 kids now, and he was our drummer, one of my best friends from high school. And Davis got married and is back in college now. But Caleb and I we've kind of just been like, no plan B, because if you have a plan B, you're going to take it.
Yeah.
And if you got too many plans on the calendar, you're not going to be available for shows. So we don't really do anything other than this, unless we know for a fact that there will not be shows. Like Christmas and New Year's, usually we're free to go wherever we want, go on vacation, that kind of thing. But other than that, every vacation plan we make with family, friends, even other people's weddings, sometimes we're just like, yeah, we'll be there, unless anybody in the world asks us to come play music, and then we just go do that instead. And that mentality does not work for everybody, but it's working pretty well for us, and we really like it, and we get to play a lot of gigs this way. We get to meet a lot of cool people and be in new places. Like Pueblo was just like a name of a town until we got here, and we were like, this place is awesome. So but yeah, so I feel like that was kind of like, that's the reason we've had so much like changeover. And lately we just have like a rotating group of players, like all of my best friends in Nashville and Joplin, and I'm trying to think where else we have buddies Seattle. Our new drummer is flying in from Seattle. Just guys that have nothing else going on that will prevent them from saying yes to shows, because we really don't like being like, oh, I was gonna be off that day. That was always a point of tension. If like a vacation came up, or like a big show. Like we're seeing the Avett Brothers at Red Rocks this week. We didn't get it, but we almost got to open for the Avett Brothers in Iowa.
Oh wow.
Like a year ago, and we didn't get it. But a couple guys had wanted that day off, and I was like, yeah. But as a band, a nobody band from Missouri, when a show like that pops up, you just say yes, and you get in the car and you drive there, no matter where it is. And they were like, well, I was gonna go to the lake that day, and one of them was like, oh, I was gonna move into my new house that week. So I was like, yeah, but like you can always move into a house. The lake's always gonna be there. But the Avett Brothers show is a one-time deal, you know. So that's kind of like. We've learned to not be like angry about it, but mostly we're also like not going to compromise on that kind of thing. And that's just not every band likes to live that way. Some bands don't believe in playing shows at all. But I'd rather play shows and never write another song than stay at home writing all the time. So I don't know how Caleb feels, but that's my tangent.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I sign off on all that.
really.
Yeah.
You know, finding people that are dedicated enough to drop everything at the drop of the drop of a hat. Say, oh, we're gonna go play this show for undisclosed amount of dollars. That's pretty rare for just to kind of with anyone to do anything. Not everyone's gonna be as dedicated to your band as you guys are.
True.
That's just human nature.
Yep. Yeah, and honestly, accepting that and not being mad about it has been tricky, because sometimes it's like, why don't you believe in me? But at the same time, like learning that, like even like when you have a booking agent or a manager or even like we've been blessed enough to have like a small record label like take us on, but even then it's like, oh, these guys are gonna make us the next thing. And what we heard from every band that's doing anything cool, they're like, you can't wait for anyone else to go get it for you. You just have to go out there and get it, and then use whatever resources come along, any partners that come along the way, like utilize that relationship. But you can't wait for them to go get the door open for you. You got to go and do it yourself. And I think that's kept us going. Keeps us like in good spirits, and then we get to celebrate the wins because we're like, yeah, we did this, you know. Like it's not like, I mean, it's luck, but also not quitting opens you up to the possibility of all the luck in the world. So
Yeah.
It's been cool, and it was a nice like change of thought process. I used to think that if you got a record label, you'd just be done. You'd be like, all right, cool, they're just gonna like do all of it for you.
They're just gonna give you like $10,000 a month to just hang
Do
out
nothing.
with.
Yeah.
So you guys are currently signed right now?
We are signed to a small record label, Volcano of Sound. Used to be War Road Music, and way back when I was a kid, it was Drive Through Records. So a lot of the pop punk, Vans, Warped Tour bands like that. Newfound Glory was like one of their big ones. But yeah, Richard and Stephanie out in Nashville, they liked our band enough to be like, yeah, we're gonna help you out. So, and they've been super helpful ever since. Some of our best friends now, which is also rare. I've heard like with record labels, like them becoming your friends outside of the business partnership is kind of not normal. So
They're the best.
I like it better this way than what I've heard on like horror stories.
Yeah, Nashville. That's the mecca of music right now. I've talked to a lot of people going to Nashville. That seems like the
It
place
is
to be.
happening. Everyone's leaving LA.
Yeah.
Yep. LA, Austin too is popping. We have not played Austin, Texas.
No?
Since Guys on a Bus is like my old band's first show when I was like 16. That was the last time we went to Austin.
Oh well.
I want to go back though. It's popping off.
Yeah, my cousin works for Tesla out there. He
That's
said
cool.
the Cybertrucks are rolling out. Oh, sorry.
Really?
So you said you played 200 shows this last year?
We played about 100 last year.
Oh, 100 last year. Okay.
Our aim was always 200. Now that we have an agent and some representation, we are, obligated to put out a certain number of songs, so we spend more time in the studio. But yeah, about 80 to 120. That's kind of our sweet spot for shows.
How do you guys get into these shows?
Brandon.
Brandon. Brandon's just this guy. He used to be in Chicago, but now he's Indianapolis. Brandon. And Brandon emails everybody, and I don't know what he says. I've never seen the email. Whatever he's sending to people, though, they're like, yeah, we'll take him. This is how much we'll pay him, and we'll put him up in. Sometimes they'll put us up in hotels. They'll feed us, whatever, and we just get this insanely good job where we get to go play music. And even when there's not great money, a lot of times there is like a pretty good check, and that keeps us going. We make probably what servers make in the Midwest, like waiters and dining service, that kind of thing. But for us, we're like, yeah, we could do this instead though. So
Yeah.
But Brandon gets us like this week we had one show in Inglewood last night, and that was the only thing we were supposed to do in Colorado this year. Was that show. We didn't have anything else booked, but I wanted to go see Wilder Woods open for the Avett Brothers on tomorrow night. So I texted Brandon. I was like, hey man, can you get us a show on the 7th and the 9th somewhere in the Denver area? And he just sent out an email blast and got a couple offers back, and now we're in Brews Ale House, and then we're playing in Goosetown Tavern on Sunday night. So it's really cool. You know, we're gonna go see a Packers game in September, and we were like, hey man, like we're gonna be up there for these 2 Packers games. Can you book us shows on the way there and during the thing? So we just gave them the dates we want. So it's kind of cool when you got a good relationship with everybody that believes in the band.
Yeah.
You kind of get to make these special requests. I'm good on that.
I'm good. Yeah.
I'll hit it one more time.
Yeah, man, that sounds like a dream right there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, man. And you guys got some stuff to go home with.
Thank you. What was the company again?
Rocky Mountain Blaze.
Rocky Mountain Blaze.
Rocky Mountain Blaze.
Rocky Mountain Blaze.
Respect. You guys have any sponsors for the tours or anything? You guys? How you guys? No.
Weber speakers.
Oh yeah.
Give me my amp. They're
Yes.
awesome. Yeah.
What's their name?
Weber.
Weber.
Weber. They make great speakers.
They do. That's my bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually did get a brief sponsorship with Liquid Death. Shout out Liquid Death and Philly on the Rocks on Instagram. Please send me more Liquid Death.
Did Celsius send you something?
No,
Did
they
just
liked a
reply
couple
to your thing?
videos, but they haven't. I really like Celsius too. I don't know how sponsorships work, but you should send me some Celsius.
Send us stuff.
Just get in contact with the representative, typically on their website.
Okay,
It's all from there, man.
just beg.
I mean, no, show your content. You know, show your Instagram, show your YouTube, show your Spotify. You know,
Cool.
all that.
Okay,
You'll get there.
I'm
You
gonna
can
do that.
also see if they have any pets and just kidnap them and be like, "Hey, man, you can
Yeah.
give me some Celsius,
Exactly.
If you
or
want
I'm
your dog
gonna
back.
kill this cat.
Nothing
Oh my
like some-
gosh!
nothing
No,
like
no,
some
no, no, no,
violence.
no! You're just gonna keep the cat.
I'm gonna keep the cat for myself.
because I
But
love
if
cats.
it comes to that,
My
So-
brother has
Man,
nothing against cats.
I
Just wanna
want
say-
to get sponsored by Celsius.
That bad. So is this the guy that's sending out the email blast? Is he driving as well, or
No.
Who's
no,
driving?
No. All of us.
All of us, yeah.
Oh, okay, all of you guys.
Yeah, we had a stupid thing recently that Brandon actually said we shouldn't do, so this is not his fault. We were going to play in New Mexico, and then we had like 2 or 3 weeks off, which we could have just gone home and relaxed. But instead, I was like, we're already out kind of west, so we should just go to California and go all the way up to Washington and Oregon and then play Utah. He was like, okay, but I booked that, and he's like, I don't know if it's a great idea, but you can do it if you want to. So we did that, and it was a lot of fun, but he was right. Like, it was hard and, not probably the best business move we ever made. But then we got an offer for a show in Detroit and a show in Toronto, like right after the Salt Lake show.
Oh wow.
So we went out west on the run that I kind of just put together with friends, and then we drove 27 hours to Detroit. And then we played Toronto, which was only 4 hours from there. But then our next show was Denver last night. So then we drove 22 hours, like straight through, right after. And that's in the past 7 days, we've driven like 60, 70 hours probably.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is it a
Rough.
van? What is it?
SUV with a trailer attached. We
Wow.
got a hybrid. We learned that vans and buses get terrible gas mileage by owning them, and it was just like 6 miles per gallon. And now we get 25 to 30 with a hybrid SUV with a little like U-Haul trailer attached to it. So that's working actually a lot better than any vehicle we've ever had. So
How's the driving relationships? How's the sitting next to each other for
That's
hours
great.
and hours?
Yeah.
You guys don't get tired of each other?
We watch I Think You Should Leave, but with Tim Robinson, just on repeat. Curb Your Enthusiasm. Drivers listening, not watching. We're safe drivers. But, yeah, we've watched, I think, all of It's Always Sunny.
yep.
What else?
We do
We
get
listen
along,
to-
but yes, there are definitely fights. A lot of fights. Mostly whenever you're, like, you drive for 5 hours. That's the shift. And on the way from Canada to here, we didn't have one of our guys. He didn't have a passport, so he couldn't get into Canada. So we just flew to Denver.
Oh wow.
Which in retrospect, I should have been like, no, like you're gonna drive 5 hours, so that would make it easier. But live and learn. But yeah, so 5 hours, then it's Caleb's turn, and then Chase, our drummer, then it's his turn. So 10 hours later, it's the middle of the night. It's my turn to drive again, and I'm asleep in the back. And when you wake anybody up and say, hey, you have to drive for 5 hours right now, it's never like what anybody wants to hear out of a dead sleep.
Yeah.
So the other day, that was the most angry I've been in years probably. It was when I woke up and I was like, really? How is this possible? Because I had done bad math. I was like, no, there's 20 hours. There's 3 of us, 5 hours each. I should only have to drive once. So it didn't add up at all. And I ended up like driving first so I could have the nice shift. And then 6 or 5 in the morning, it was my turn again. So I was just angry and fuming and went for a walk and then got back in the car and we kept driving and I was good after that. But yeah, it's a lot of time in a car, man. Got to find some good podcasts and really good playlists.
Yeah. definitely. Who you guys listening to on the road right now, or just in general?
Lord Huron a lot. Phoebe Bridgers lately. Avett Brothers tomorrow, so I've been listening to some Avett Brothers. And then The Script, their first album. Like, I don't even know what it's called. But Break Even probably. Or
goodness.
just The Script. I think it's their first album. But back in 2008, they
I
had
can picture the album art.
Yeah.
Isn't it like a trophy or something?
No, that's Hall of Fame. It's a different one.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, a lot of The Script. What are you listening to? You got headphones.
I don't even know. I listen to a lot of old country music, like George Strait and Conway Twitty.
George Jones too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny Cash, like the old stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know why. That's just happened over this last week.
I know why. He's writing a comic.
Hey,
You
that's
are.
right. Yeah,
you are writing a comic,
let's
and
talk about
he's
it.
writing a western.
Okay.
He's writing a western.
Yeah.
And is this off limits?
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, because he asked us if there's anything we didn't want to talk about. I didn't say anything.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you have it?
I don't have it.
Oh, that'd be sick.
He's written
I
like
have it
3 issues
written,
though. It's,
yeah.
it's very cool,
Yeah,
and it's
I don't
actually
draw.
good.
that's nice of you to say.
But
You
it's not like a he's my brother good. Like he said, you want to read this, and I was like, okay. And then I read it, and it was awesome. Like it's like Robert Kirkman kind of style, like Walking Dead or Invincible. Like it's that vibe.
He
but
is
it's
my
a,
hero.
but it's a cowboy, so it's just
Spaghetti
cool.
Western.
You
yeah.
draw it too?
I do not draw.
Oh.
That's the big hang up.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
You got some guys.
Trying to find someone who loves it as much as I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AI, bro. Just use AI.
That's true.
Yeah, just put your script in AI. Be like, give
You know,
me photos for this.
I mentioned that once, and a friend of mine jumped down my throat for it.
Yeah, an artist, right? That
Yeah.
wasn't willing to do it
I
himself.
was like, "Well, do you want to do it?" He was like, "No, but you shouldn't let a robot do it. Like you're taking a job from an artist." And it's like, "Well, I'm not gonna pay anybody for it." So
Yeah.
you know how cool it would be though to have an AI generated graphic novel. You should totally do that, and
you
it's all in your hands.
Yeah, you make like little tweaks. It's like you'd be like, all right, but make it like darker.
yeah,
or make
but
it lighter.
it's just
Like
not like real art though.
Dude,
No, I don't
seriously,
think that at
though.
all. I don't
Yeah.
think that at all. I think AI is totally cool.
You should
Like-
seriously do this though. This is a good idea.
Yeah,
You know,
think about it.
I'll do it. I'm just gonna take your script, make it myself. I'll be like, no, I wrote this with AI. So
You know,
I'll
what? You should let an
paraphrase.
AI write it too.
I mean, I think that's why a lot of the writers are in California are on strike right now. It's
Yeah.
Because AI.
really,
yeah,
is that why?
They were bringing them into the writers' rooms, and I mean, obviously they were afraid they would take their jobs, which it's going to.
So the thing is that the AI isn't going to take your job. The person who's using the AI is. So if you want to get ahead of it,
Use
and you need to
AI.
write a script, just say, "Hey, write this script," and be like, "Here you go."
No, you just need like a new bottom line for new writers.
Yeah.
Writers with no expectations who don't know how Hollywood works. That's what you need.
It's true.
We actually were there. We were in LA a few weeks ago, and I was driving to the house from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I saw that it was in Studio City, but I have never been to Studio City. And we're driving by, and I saw the big Warner Brothers like water tower that they've got on their lot. And I was like, "Oh, Warner Brothers!" And I looked down. I was like, "Oh, this is all Warner Brothers." And then there was yelling to my right, and I turned over. I was like, "Oh my gosh, the writer's strike is right here!"
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
were all there, and I saw Zack Snyder out there.
Oh, really?
And it was crazy. And then I was like, well, where's that house, though, from the Tarantino movie? And I just drove away. We thought about joining just so we could get some of the signs, the picketing signs that
Yeah.
they had out for free. But we
That'd be
were like,
cool.
if we got caught, like, picketing for 2 minutes and then taking the sign, we thought we might get in trouble, so we didn't do it. But more power to them.
Yeah.
I think we need writers for sure. As a writer, I'm not a movie writer, but I'm a songwriter. And I've heard AI can write some pretty good songs, too. So I heard they wrote like a better Drake song than Drake writes. That's what something
It
recent.
sounds like
That's
him.
not hard.
Yeah.
What's up, Drake?
You guys don't like Drake?
I have no qualms.
I don't care.
Caleb doesn't like anybody.
I like to start beef. Anybody who wants some can get it. Catch the smoke.
I really like Drake in Lil Dicky's show, Dave. I
Oh,
liked
yeah.
his cameo in season 3. But I did think Brad Pitt had a better cameo, so I wonder if Brad Pitt might be a better songwriter than Drake too.
I
you
didn't
know?
watch the finale yet.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
you know Brad Pitt's in it?
Yeah, I do know. I saw
Alright.
it on the internet.
All right, I won't elaborate on
I
that,
mean-
but it was a great episode.
I could have gotten to it by now. It's been out for months.
That's fair. You know, I will say though, it was cool because when you get a celebrity cameo, it's just like a wink.
Mhm.
But Brad Pitt was actually just in the episode
Really?
and really just was like, "Yeah, I'll be in every scene of this thing." So it was really cool. I love that show. I think that's like the most accurate representation of like an aspiring artist that I've ever seen. Just the arrogance and the insecurity and the lack of work ethic and discipline and just bucking against everyone who's trying to help you, kind of thing. So That show made me cry like multiple times. So it's good.
Yeah.
And the relationship stuff too is really tricky. Being in a band.
Mm-hmm. You said you're married, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have kids?
Nope, never.
How long have you been married?
4 years. 4 years and like 2 months.
Wow, since you were 22?
Yep.
Wow, that's really young to get married.
That's what I've heard. Where I was, where I live, not that young.
Really?
19, 20, 21. Most people are married by then if they're going to get married that young. So, and most, like, I think I was the only person in my family that got married after age 22. So, my sister got married, she was 18. Other sister when she was 19. You were 19.
Yeah, I was 19.
Oh, you're married too?
I am also married.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
And he is 22 right now. He's been married
22.
since he was 19. So.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What was the relationship building up like? How long were you guys dating?
About a year. We were best friends for like 3 years before that.
Wow.
Yeah. I
6
broke the
months.
friend zone.
You broke your friend zone.
I did.
He
Wow.
did. Yeah.
It happens.
Yep.
It's
It
real.
happens, guys.
It's real.
You can do
It
it.
can be done.
Just tell her how you feel.
So how did that work for you?
Well,
Tell a story, man.
yeah. So I was dating this other girl,
Oh.
and was not meant to be, and that's cool. You know, everyone's walking their own path.
That's with popcorn.
That's with popcorn paps. But yeah, I told Teresa, who's my wife.
You don't have. Oh, I was like, you don't have to say
No.
names, but okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share the ex's name. I was like, after I started dating this other girl, I was like, hey, you know what's weird? I actually used to like you. That's what I told Teresa when I was dating this other girl. She's like, oh, interesting. And then like a week later, we went to a Band Camino concert. And when we got home from the Band Camino concert, she was like, hey, I still like you too. I was like, okay. And I got out of the car and I went home and I laid in bed and I stared at the ceiling. I didn't sleep. And I got up and I called my girlfriend and I broke up with her.
In
And then,
the morning.
Yeah, in the morning.
Middle of the night. Hey, we're done.
You and I are done.
What a
No,
gentleman.
called her the next day. I was not forthcoming about why I was breaking up with her.
That's true. In retrospect, I could have been
Let's
done
just
better.
get it all out now.
You were 17, dude.
I was 18, but
Yeah,
you
but
know,
you acted like a
that's basically the
17-year-old.
same.
So.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah,
Trying to
so
help you,
then-
man.
Yeah, so I burned that bridge, and then I started dating my wife, and then a year later we got married.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's true love right there.
Yeah, it is.
And you, how did you meet your wife?
Tinder. No, actually.
Oh,
no.
wow.
No, just thought that'd be a better story. No, actually, so I was at Red Rocks, seeing Need to Breathe, and I posted a video, and she swiped up on my story, and she loved Need to Breathe. And we had talked briefly on Instagram like a month before. She's from Costa Rica, and I had run into her at a coffee shop in person and kind of knew who she was from college, but we never really met. And I just told her, don't get that coffee. It's terrible. And it was Costa Rican coffee, like from her home country.
Oh, dang.
And she was like, well, I'm from Costa Rica. I was like, yeah, but that bag of coffee is bad. This place is not a good coffee shop. And she was like, oh, okay. And then she didn't get it. So then it was like a month and a half, and I was like, she was pretty. My mom had actually mentioned her to me. And I was like, she's too nice. Like, that would never work. And so then I was at the Need to Breathe concert, and she swiped up on my story, and I was like, hey, like, if she's talking to me, I think that's like a green light enough to talk a little bit more. And I was like, do you like concerts? And she said, not really, which was weird because she was talking to me about the Need to Breathe concert. And I was like, well, would you ever consider going to a concert? And she said, if there was a chair provided, I would. So I was like, well, if you come to my band's concert, I will have a table for you and your friends, so you don't have to come alone. Put her on the guest list.
Wow.
And put a table in a room that had no tables and put 4 chairs over there and then put a tarp over it. It said reserved for Mighty. And she showed up, thought I was joking about the table, so nobody sat there. But then in the middle of a song about wondering why I had moved to the Midwest and was wishing I could find a relationship that I liked, this giant, weird dude just moved out of the way, like while he was dancing or something, and she was just like this tiny Costa Rican girl right behind him. And yeah, it was cool. And then right after, like, I didn't get to say goodbye to her or anything. I had a lot going on with my former brother-in-law, and a lot of that drama happened the same week.
Oh.
And so I didn't get to say anything to her. But then the next day I had another show, and she wished me luck for that show on Instagram. And I was like, okay, I feel like I can ask her out. And I did. And then she was like, you want to go out, like, on a date? And I was like, yes, a date. And I didn't hear from her for 24 hours while she vetted me with everybody that she knew that I knew. So she asked like 30 people, like, hey, what do you think of this guy? What what do you think of this guy? Like, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? And nobody knew me well enough to say anything incriminating or undignified. And she gave me a shot, and I gave her a good bag of coffee at the end of the first date. I had a bag from like a good roaster from Costa Rica, and I was going to keep it for myself if I didn't like her. And I really liked her, and we both were like,
ready for the other.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I was like, maybe she doesn't like me, maybe I won't like her, but I'm not giving her the bag of coffee unless I know that we're going to go out again. And it's kind of like an investment into the next date. And then we got along great. From date one, it was like, hey, I'm going to travel in a band. I'm going to be gone all the time. And I don't want to be married or with somebody that needs me around. Because if that's what you're looking for, I can't do it, and we'll both be miserable. And I had already done that in high school and like earlier in college. And she was like, no, I actually like to do my own thing. I have a job. I want to have a career. And as long as we have good communication, I'm not worried about where we are, like on a map. So, I was like, this is perfect. And neither of us wanted kids. Still don't. So it's been really good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where does she live right now?
Joplin, Missouri, where I live.
Joplin still.
Yeah, we've got a house there. And she's from Costa Rica, so we just got some land there. We're trying to build a house there. If I can just not spend money on tour, which is my weakness. I love buying things I don't need, like especially little cheap trinkets in like every city.
Yeah.
Like coffee shops, especially like whatever hats, mugs, or postcards or stickers. I buy all that stuff, and I gotta stop. But once that's under control, we're trying to build a house in Costa Rica so that we can move there, just so she can be with her family, because it is lonely when I'm on the road and she's back home in our house with our 2 cats. So, yeah.
Wow. Do you speak Spanish? Do they speak Spanish in Costa Rica?
They do. They do
Okay.
speak Spanish. I don't speak it. I understand some of it. It gets better every time I go down, but I've only been down, I want to say 3 times. It might just be just twice. I've been down twice, a month at a time each time. But we're trying to start spending our winters there. So I'm doing the Duolingo thing and trying to get my vocabulary where it needs to be, so that when I go down there, I can actually like get used to it quicker. So.
Do you have is this your main source of income? Do you have something else you do?
This is the main one. I started a really cool solar job that basically is just like going door to door and setting people up with appointments, and then somebody else comes in and sets them up with solar. So I started doing that like a month, maybe 2 months out of the year, and that kind of gets me through the 4 to 5 months that we can't tour every year. But yeah, this is what I do from pretty much April through October. This is what I'm doing, and then December I don't do anything. Even November we play some shows too, but then it's like January, February, March, and the first half of April are always the desert months where there's nothing, there's no shows, it's too cold to go on the road, nobody wants to write, nobody wants to go out. So that's like a hard time to be a musician, but that's when I sell solar. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it though.
Do you have any side hustle or anything? Is this your main source of income?
Yeah, we actually we do the solar job together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we really we literally go together to each door, because neither of us have like the motivation, the inner there's some type of inner confidence or inner I don't give a crap mentality that I have whenever I'm with other people, but if I'm by myself I get very timid. So strength in numbers, codependency would be another word for it probably.
Co-regulation is actually the
that's right, co-regulation.
the term for it. Yeah.
Co-regulation's good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it is. It's where you do better if someone's watching you. And you don't chicken out on doors. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it says in the textbooks too.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Just going with a good friend or a brother.
Yeah.
You seem like you watch some motivational speakers. Do you watch any motivational speakers? Get those vibes from you that you could just talk all day about being positive or something like that.
I could do that. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit, man. I'm trying to think. Before he was a problem, I had gotten into Jordan Peterson. So before he kind of went out there and just got in trouble with everybody. Not even the initial stuff, but just his rules for life, about getting your life in order, that kind of thing. That kind of spurred me on to other people that are similar, like Cameron Haynes, and what was the other guy I listened to? The guy who wrote Atomic Habits and The Power of Habit. Basically, I'm obsessed with order in organizational skill and discipline, because I'm not a naturally disciplined person. I get excited about everything, and having rules for my day to day and having good habits and like the way that changes the way your brain functions, that kind of thing. I've just been really into that lately because balancing like the sales job and being married and trying to have friendships that are not involved in any of those things, and then also touring in a rock band, and like it's very entrepreneurial, like all of it. So I think like I do have that kind of lean in me. But I do like, I'm trying to think, I don't watch a lot of motivational speaking. I think when I first started the other band, Guys on a Bus, I was obsessed with Gary Vee, who is just like the crazy YouTube, Instagram, podcast guy, who is just crazy hype and gets mad when other people are like being mopey about their own projects. And I do resonate with that, and that got me very, very motivated. And I got so many buddies who are just like, let's go climb a mountain just because we're not in shape. And then we go do it, and it doesn't go well, and it's just like that kind of thing. But like seeing every fail as like a learning experience, as corny as that is, but that really does help. Even the worst shows in the world, it's like we'll just laugh about it in the car and be like, that was awful. What did we do wrong, and what went wrong that we could have avoided if we had just asked more questions? Or, like, how did we get into this show that was not a show we should be playing, that kind of thing. So I don't know. I've just kind of gotten to a place where there's very few things that really are like a curveball that I wish didn't happen, So I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I like my life. I like where things are at and where things are going. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. What do you think about the motivational speaker thing?
I don't know. I think the mentality we try to adopt is just to not care about what we look like and just try and stay as stone cold as possible and just focus on whatever we're doing in the moment. So like whenever we're selling door to door, we try and just turn our phones off and just not think about the band, think about money that we need, just hone in on where we are. I think we do that on the road too. We do it in the studio, just like trying to just say like hyper focused on what you're doing in the moment, because it's really easy to drive yourself crazy if you're
thinking about all of it
on tour, thinking about songs you need to write or thinking about money you should be making, knocking doors.
Yeah.
But
yep,
yeah,
that's true.
You just got to focus on the show, and the show will be great. And then when you get in the studio, don't think about the shows, don't think about your guarantees, don't think about money, don't even think about what you're paying your producer,
how well the song's gonna do,
or how well the song is gonna do with the streams or editorial Spotify placements you're gonna get. Just focus on making the song in the moment, and the song will be better.
Yeah, it's just mostly just like a very cautious optimism and also a little bit of cynicism, like knowing like nothing's gonna be amazing 100%, but if there's like a lot of cool stuff happening, like really shouldn't be complaining, honestly. And that's where I'm at, I think. So
hell yeah. What about new music? You guys have anything upcoming that the people listening to you guys can look forward to?
Yeah, so we just put out a song on Friday, and it's called So Different, and I love that song. We've got like 4 or 5 more songs coming out. I think at the end of the summer, we're supposed to put out an EP. You never know when other people are kind of like involved in that. But assuming that's still a good time to release music, we're going to put out like 5 songs in September. And then we're also touring a ton. So if you like the way we talk, you might like our music too. And if you like our music, then you can come see us at a show, and it'll be like nothing like this, but it will be the same faces.
If you like hearing us talk, just wait till you hear us sing.
Yeah, that was a good tagline. But yeah, no, we're touring mostly. That's the big thing, is a lot of festivals, and just we are doing this thing that we're trying this out, where anybody that messages us in advance or follows us anywhere can find out where we're hanging out before the show and after the show. We pick like public, like pizza places, that kind of thing, where we can meet fans and kind of create a more like friendship basis, so that we can build really long term with everybody that vibes with our music, like across the country. That's like a new thing we started just a couple weeks ago, and that's been really fun so far. Like throwing little pizza parties, and people don't believe it. It was just a thing I saw bands doing to go viral on TikTok, where they'd be like, "We'll have pizza with you if you do this," and we were like, we should totally do that, but then we should actually like show up for that party, and not just make it like a marketing tool, but like also be like go hang out with people, and we end up talking to a lot more people that way and meeting people from every walk of life. It's been really cool. So yeah,
that's awesome. Tonight you guys gonna be at Brews. I know you guys probably have to get out of here sometime soon, right?
Yes, yeah, we probably should.
All right, can you shout out your socials so the people can follow you?
Yeah, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook at We Are Fox Royale. Threads, we're on Instagram. Threads.
Threads by Meta.
You say it.
Shout out Zuckerberg at We Are Fox Royale. We're using your new thing.
We are. We're early adopters.
Reward us.
Oh, we're on YouTube as well, but we're not great at it. We've got like music videos and then one YouTube short. that I just posted a couple days ago. So, yeah, those are our social medias. Please look us up on Spotify. Fox Royale is our handle. I think we're the only band called Fox Royale, which is cool. So, if we're playing near you, or even if we're not playing near you, like, you could drive from Toronto, Canada to Denver, Colorado if the show is worth it, you know? So just that's all I'm asking. It's just maybe drive 10, 14 hours and then tell us you did, and we'll even like pay for half the pizza. So
Great. That's a great deal.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll follow you guys around. All right, y'all. Street Champs, Fox Royale. Come get put on. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that. All right. Peace. What's up, guys? We just hit 2,000 subs. We're trying to make it 3. Help us out. Hit the subscribe button. Peace.